Call this meeting to order and I'd like to welcome everyone for coming tonight. The roll call, please.
Lyndon Baines.
Here.
Charles Cooper.
Here.
Becky Duncan.
Here.
Vanessa Matthews.
Here.
Elizabeth Pendergrass.
Here.
All present.
Okay, would you read the minutes, please?
Regular meeting, November 2017. Be it remembered that the Board of Mayor and Aldermen met in regular monthly session Monday, November 13, 2017 at 6 p.m. at City Hall in Jamestown, Tennessee, when the following proceedings were had and entered of record to wit. Present and presiding, the Honorable Darlene Mundy Davis, Mayor, Gail Dishman, Recorder. On a roll call by the City Recorder, the following members of the Board were present: Lyndon Baines, Becky Duncan, Charles Cooper, Vanessa Matthews, and Elizabeth Pendergrass. The Mayor called the meeting to order and welcomed everyone for attending. The minutes from the previous meeting was read, and on a motion by Vanessa Matthews, seconded by Charles Cooper, the Board approved the minutes from the previous meeting. Senator Yeager had attended the city meeting. Mayor Davis welcomed him and asked would he like to address the board. He congratulated the city on the CDBG grant, said they did not fund a big percent this year and that the city had turned in a professional worded application. The board thanked Senator Yeager for attending the meeting. The mayor then asked was there anyone from the floor that had any grievances, questions, or concerns they wanted to address the board about. Tona Tompkins asked why employees were leaving, and the mayor answered by saying that they are leaving for better pay and some other reasons. She then asked about the slum ordinance that the Planning Commission is working on. The mayor let Bob Lane answer the question. He stated that it is still in the Planning Commission's hands, and since a new administration had taken place, that they were letting them go back over it to understand it before asking them to vote on it. Mayor Davis then gave an update on city projects. She asked Steve McCoy to talk about the community center roof project and the airport projects. Tom Bennett with Bennett Associates gave the engineer report. Bob Lane, the city building inspector, then gave building inspector report and codes report. The mayor addressed a letter she had received from Best Friends about a meeting that had taken place November 6th of 2017 with Best Friends and code enforcer Bob Lane, Steve McCoy, Public Works Director, Mayor Davis, and City Engineer Tom Bennett. Mr. Lane had made a statement about a call he received from a citizen that their well had been contaminated, that they had it tested. Best Friends wanted the statement corrected. They had received a copy of the report and it showed no evidence of contamination. Mr. Lane said he only went by the citizens by the citizen what they had told him. Bailey Allred, city attorney, then give the attorney report. On a motion by Lyndon Baines, seconded by Charles Cooper, the board voted on a roll call vote, all for, none against, to award the pump replacement to J&S Hearing in the amount of $117,900. On a motion by Charles Cooper, seconded by Lyndon Baines, the board on a roll call vote, all for, none against, approved the new hires for the gas meter reader and for the water crew and the wastewater treatment plant. On a motion by Charles Cooper, seconded by Becky Duncan, the board on a roll call vote, all for, none against, approved the financial statements for September 2017. I'm sorry, that's supposed to be October. On a motion by Lyndon Baines, seconded by Charles Cooper, the board on a roll call vote, all for, none against, approved to give city employees a Christmas bonus, $50 per year of service starting with the third year. Employees less than 3 years of service would receive a $50 bonus. Part-time employees would receive $25. On a motion by Becky Duncan, seconded by Charles Cooper, the board on a roll call vote, all for, none against, voted to approve the financial statements for October 2017. That other up there at the top needs to be taken completely out. It's duplicated. On a motion by Charles Cooper, seconded by Lyndon Baines, the board on a roll call vote, all for, none against, voted to pay the November bills. With no further business, on a motion by Vanessa Matthews, seconded by Charles Cooper, the board voted to adjourn.
Okay, are there any corrections needed to the minutes? If not, then I need a motion to approve and dispense with the reading.
I'll make a motion to approve the
I'll
minutes.
second it.
Okay, motion made by Councilwoman Pendergrass and seconded by Councilman Cooper. Are there any discussion? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Lyndon Baines,
4.
Charles Cooper,
Or,
Becky Duncan, Vanessa Matthews,
4.
Elizabeth Pendergrass.
4.
All 4, none against.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, is there anyone that would like to speak to the board from the audience? Okay. No one, then we'll move on. Report of the mayor. We had such a successful event last Saturday. I have had nothing but comments all week long about it. The kids had a blast at it. They had so much fun riding the train and doing those bouncy houses and that big polar bear bouncy slide. They just was a real favorite, I believe. And the pony rides and stuff that they had over there, they just all day long. It was just unreal. People came and went. It was just, there was food there, vendors. People talked about that, how good the food was that was being offered. They really liked it because it was during the daytime following the Rotary's Christmas parade. And had the horse and buggy, and then behind the courthouse they had the singing and a church group that did a play, and that was very well attended. And it was just a success all the way around. We had things over in the Mark Twain Park where there were crafts for the children to do, and music for them. And we had, of course, whenever it got dusk, we had the lighting of the tree, and that was really, we had a good crowd, and had several people mention that after that, says it was just like a Hallmark Christmas. I just had many people mention that. I even saw that on Facebook. That it was like a Hallmark Christmas. It was a fun day. The kids were having a great time. The parents were having a great time. Everybody was all smiles. It was a beautiful day that helped cooperate with us that day for the first time holding it like this. So it was just a good thing all the way around. I do want to commend Freddie Ford for his group, Red Griffin, that did an excellent job helping to organize and helping to get some of the things that we needed, and it was just a good deal all the way around. Christmas parade, the Rotary parade, they had I believe 104 entries, and I believe they said that's the most they've ever had, and it was just great. So can't say enough about it. We hope to have as good of an event next year, and hope the weather cooperates as good next year as it did this year. But if it doesn't, we'll take into consideration what we need to do. Steve, do you have anything to report on the...
No, I just want to say with the Trails and Trees thing, the city staff done excellent. They done an excellent job on everything.
They most certainly did. Can't say enough about it. Had several people talking about they really liked the city workers working at those crossing, and the guys were just all smiles, and some of them were dancing.
Yeah.
So it was just, people really enjoyed that and commented about that, and it was a lot of work to get it ready. And they worked diligently. weeks before, getting up all the Christmas lights around the square. People love the square. They love the back of the courthouse. They just love the whole thing. It just looks like Christmas, and a lot of people comment says in all their years that they had never seen it as decorated and looked so much like Christmas. So we do appreciate all the work that the girls from here in the office did, and all of the workers did. So yes, Steve, that was wonderful.
I saw a car down there today at the park, had Cumberland County license. They were out doing a family picture at the tree.
Well, and I come through on Sunday, the day after our event, and there was a group of people there. It was looked like the grandparents and the parents and the children, and they were taking pictures over there with that, where you stick your face through the board, the snowman and Santa Claus and stuff. And I just think it's great, and we've left that up because a lot of people are going down there and taking pictures, so it's a good thing, and everything just looked great. Okay, city engineer report.
Mayor, Board, just a short report tonight. We will be having pre-construction meeting next week for the main city pump station grinder project. That project will go on for a little while. It takes a little bit of time to get the equipment, so the construction will probably start, I would suspect, sometime in February, something like that. But the pre-construction will be next week, and then we're getting started on the CDBG project in the design and permitting, and we should expect that probably to take into the early spring. Somewhere in that time frame, it would be issued for construction, so we're getting started on that. That was it for tonight.
Okay. All right. City building report. He's absent tonight. City attorney.
So for me this month, we had the election commission had contacted the mayor and referred me to take care of a situation. The election commission is looking to move some locations for voting, and just wanted to make sure that they were in compliance of everything in regard to our city code and charter and everything. So no problems there. And then I'm continuing to work on the airport easements. Sometimes seems like you start working on something and it opens up a can of worms. So I think that will be something that we'll work on. Just some long-term things that need to be cleaned up a little bit that I'll be working on probably in the coming months. So I'll keep you guys posted as that reaches more clarity.
Okay, thank you. We have no old business, so we'll just go right into the new business. The first thing we have on the agenda under the new business is approval of the real lights at the airport to go out for bids and get. Gil, you want to comment on the real lights?
The company that built or put those in, the gentleman passed away, and his son and wife can no longer do the company, so they went out of business, and the state has opened up the grant for all the cities to be able to replace those. And ours, unfortunately, 3 of them was out, and then a few months later, the other 3 went out, so they're all out now.
Okay, and this is under a grant from the TDOT Aeronautics. So I need a motion for approval of the real lights at the airport to go out for bid.
I make the motion.
Motion's been made by Councilman Baines and seconded by Councilman Cooper. Is there any discussion? Okay, no discussion. Roll call, please.
Lyndon Baines.
4.
Charles Cooper.
4.
Becky Duncan. 4. Vanessa Matthews.
4.
Elizabeth Pendergrass.
4.
All 4, none against.
Motion carries. Next is approval of community center bathrooms to go out for bid. Do you want to comment on that, Steve?
This is just gonna bring the community center bathrooms up to date and up to ADA compliance. And it's from some of the funds we had already approved for that.
So that money's already in place for us to do that. So I need a motion
I'll make a
to,
motion.
okay, motion's been made by Councilman Cooper and
I'll second it.
seconded by Councilman Baines. Is there any discussion? No discussion, motion passes. Oh, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Roll call, please. Got
Lyndon
ahead of myself.
Baines,
4.
Becky Duncan,
4.
Charles Cooper,
Or,
Vanessa Matthews,
4.
Elizabeth Pendergrass,
4.
all 4, none against.
And now motion passes. Okay, approval of the financial statement. Anybody got any questions of the financial statement? If not, then I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay, motion's been made by Councilman Cooper. Need a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councilwoman Duncan. Are there any questions? Any discussion? Motion carries. Roll call, sorry. Roll call.
Lyndon Baines,
4.
Becky Duncan,
4.
Charles Cooper,
Four.
Vanessa Matthews,
4.
Elizabeth Pendergrass,
4.
all 4, none against.
Okay, motion carries. Next is approval of the financial statement, of the monthly bills. The bills are $494,009.23. This does include the natural gas bill is included in this, so it's a substantial invoice. So I need a motion to approve monthly bills
I'll make the motion.
for November. Motion's been made by Councilman Baines. I need a second.
I second it.
Seconded by Councilwoman Pendergrass. Roll call.
Lyndon Baines,
4.
Becky Duncan,
4.
Charles Cooper,
4.
Vanessa Matthews,
4.
Elizabeth Pendergrass,
4.
all 4, none against.
Motion carries. Okay.
Mayor, first asked me about something, and I told him I didn't know. I tried to find out. Somebody said it's more favorable getting your water from Birdtown, go down Mal, and let's say they want to try to get water from Jamestown, and
Right, and that was asked about, back in, when I first took office.
yeah,
And the utility district asked then, I told you it's about that back then. And yes, they are still wanting to do that, but they have not come to us yet to, what is it they have to bring, Gail? They have to bring something to
We
us.
met with them in
Yeah, we
work
met with them
session.
in a work session or in a
And
meeting, and
Tom had some questions that he drawed up, and you're gonna,
right, and I was not here at that. I don't think present at that meeting.
Me and Vanessa was there.
Okay, I was not present at that meeting, so is there anything that you want to add to what's being said on that?
Tom, what were the questions that you had asked them and they were going to come back?
Really just some technical questions that regarding what does it mean to the Jamestown system. And so I'm still working through kind of what those questions are. And so the next point of deliverable would be just a letter that requests some technical information from them, because we don't know what that would mean, how much water we're talking about, just some basic technical
And
questions.
you're talking about a distance that there are no houses down the mountain. So what, in that trade-off there, are they gonna, there's got to be quite a bit of discussion on that before we make a decision on it. Because there's, we know that Byrdstown is in dire need of being added to us. Because they're like bringing up silt or something into their water system, and they have the new filters, which our sand filters are 100 times better than those things. So that's there's a lot of stuff for us to think about on that.
Right.
You know,
But they were
so-
talking about using the pump station in Pine Haven to do the water down till somewhere in Buck Mountain, wasn't it? Somewhere like that.
Well, yeah, they currently pump out of that pump station community center into a tank, so that would be unchanged. The question would be how much additional flow and associated impacts would we see by that additional customer base? So it wouldn't really change that unless they ever change the pump, which they might. Those are the things that we need to just figure out, like what is it gonna do at that point for us?
Right.
And which then, of course, comes back into our system. What does it mean to us? We don't know that.
Right.
And so they'll need to.
There's quite a bit of stuff that's got to be figured out about it before.
So they're waiting on a letter from you.
Correct. That's right. And so, and that will facilitate, I'm assuming, more discussion. They'll have to engage their engineer. That would be, the utility district would be making that connection, thereby increasing the consumption to some extent from the city.
But they have been Mr. Delk has been talking to us about it quite often. He's asked about it, and but I think Byrdstown is getting in pretty, yeah, that they're needing to try to get that done. And
Actually, it's Chinook Pall water.
yeah, which takes in like my place, farm in Pell Mell. See, we pay the Pell Mell Chinook. We get the water from Byrdstown. Needless to say, when I go to farm, I'm not drinking it. So, so I mean, that just tells you something right there. Okay. Is there anything else anybody'd like to discuss? All right, then.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion's been made to adjourn by Councilman Cooper,
And I second it.
seconded by Councilman Baines. Is there any discussion? No? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries. We're adjourned.